What's going on, guys? Eric from TheWiscoGuyz, and in today's video we're going to talk about my Ford Maverick. If you don't know, we picked up this Ford Maverick back in September, late September, like third week of September, and we actually waited for this vehicle for about a year. So this is my 2023 Ford Maverick XL, and it's been about 3 months. As you can see, there's snow on the ground. This is actually the first cumulative snow we've gotten that's stuck. So it's been a pretty light winter. Like I said, I took delivery of this vehicle end of September, and right now we are coming on to the second week of January. So it's been a little over 3 months right now. So we're gonna go through how I like the vehicle, how everything's been working, cons of the vehicle, and which there's not many, but there are a couple. If you haven't watched the videos, we've been doing videos on this vehicle, doing like minor things. We've done rock block mud flaps, we've done a tonneau cover right from Ford, we put that on, and we did a locking tailgate mod with the remote. We've done that as well too. We also put in a little storage cubby that doesn't come with the XLs, so we got that in there too. So and we're also going to talk about like how it drives, fuel economy, all that. This is a hybrid model. I don't know if I mentioned that. It is a hybrid model. So this is two-wheel drive, and when I bought this vehicle, everybody's like, oh, you ordered a Maverick. Oh yeah, you're gonna get the no, I'm gonna get the hybrid front-wheel drive because I want the gas mileage. So that's what I ended up getting. But yeah, that was one of the main things, is like when I was telling people I ordered this vehicle and what configuration it was, they're like, how are you gonna drive in the winter? And I just told them I'm gonna put the key in and I'm gonna put it in drive. And they're just baffled by that answer, because I think people have gotten lazy and don't know how to drive in the winter with two-wheel drive. So also went with the hybrid as well, for the fact that the price point was good in 2023. In 2024 they hiked the price up. It's no longer the base model. The EcoBoost front-wheel drive is now the base model, and the hybrid is now more expensive than the EcoBoost model. So I have hauled a few things with this thing, a set of tires, and then a boat. I've trailered a boat. I actually went on a couple forest road like trails, taken multiple trips to Duluth, Minnesota, which is about 60 miles, 65, 70 miles from here, and it's done well. Performance is great in the hills. I would say Duluth is kind of set up similar to, maybe a little less than like San Francisco with the hills, and it handles it great. Enough power, more than enough power to get up them, and going down them handles really well too. So, but yeah, I've actually hauled a TV. I actually hauled the TV the wrong way. I was supposed to haul it up and down. I said screw that, it was like raining, so I hauled it flat, and the TV's just fine. So it's a good enough ride to haul a TV the wrong way and not damage it, so the ride quality is great. Hitting on the other point, the main reason I bought this vehicle was for the gas mileage. So everybody on the Facebook forum and the Ford Maverick truck forum, I think it's called, I can't remember, but all of them are saying that everybody's getting like above 40, which I can see that if you're only driving in town. And where I work, in relation to where I live, I have to hop on the highway for about 5 miles. And right now it says all electric. Let's see if I can get it. As you can see here, we're getting 36.5 miles to the gallon from the time I drove it off the lot here. So averaging about 480 to a tank, which is not very good for these. They actually talk about there's clubs, they call them clubs. There's a 6, 7, and 800 mile club. I've never hit the 600 mile club. It just doesn't happen. I have to hop on the highway right pretty much as soon as I get 2 blocks away from my house. I'm on the highway, so it doesn't happen for me. But in town, I mean, as you shut them off, it will tell you your miles that you've gone and the fuel mileage that you consume, being electric or being gas. So it will show you like what your mileage is. But for 36.5, it's pretty good. I must say I'm happy with that as an average in the winter. Like, it's been cold for a little while. It hasn't been like extremely cold, but it's been, you know, let's say 45 and pretty much 45 and below. Gas mileage is great, and that's what I bought this for. Better than my old Chevy truck that gets like 9 miles a gallon everywhere it goes. So, and that's the reason I bought it. So like I said, with the gas mileage and everything there, I haven't really put more than like 35 bucks in this thing. Maybe there's like 38. Maybe, yeah, it was about 38, so a little bit over 35. That's when gas was over like $3 a gallon, and I ran it like right to like, I think it was like 20 miles till empty, just to see, you know, how far I could go on that tank. And I think I went about 480 on that, 480 miles, which was fine. I'm not worried about it. There's people that get 600, 700, 800 miles to a tank. I've seen one guy get 800 miles. And I thought that was insane, but he must have been like going like 30 miles an hour everywhere in like perfect weather conditions, like sunny, 70 degrees. It had to have been. So yeah, gas mileage is great. That's one of the pros on this thing. Gas mileage is awesome. Now, another thing that's awesome on this vehicle is the handling. It handles just like a car does. Very responsive. You know, it's not like a race car or anything, or like a lowered performance car or nothing like that. But, you know, when you need to do a quick maneuver, switch lanes, get on an on-ramp, get on an off-ramp, and take a corner, it works well. I mean, it handles like a car. So that alone helps the driving experience. It's actually somewhat fun to drive, even being a hybrid model. It makes it enjoyable that it handles so well. We do have 2,500 miles, almost 2,500 miles on this vehicle, and it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. You know, everybody keeps asking me, how you like your Maverick, how you like Maverick. And for everyday use, everyday driving, you know, you get in, you go, you put your music on, you know, you head off to a trip, you're just driving, man. It's a quiet ride, and it's not like I could get in this thing. I could probably drive like 10 to 15 hours just straight without, you know, being fatigued or anything like that. The seats are really comfortable. Like, it is enjoyable to drive. Like, it's a good place to be. I even find myself like, I'll get home and I'll just like sit in it, just because it's just relaxing. Like, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, you know, day's done. The seats are that, I mean, they're that comfortable for me. So it's not like it's a bad place to be. It's very comfortable in there. And the interior, I mean, it's got little cool little bits, you know, built Ford tough. It is, I mean, it is a Ford truck. I mean, it may be a unibody, maybe based off the Escape platform, but it's not like, you know, they designed it for, you know, light truck use. It's a mini truck, and I think Ford hit the nail on the head with that one. They knew what the market needed, and they delivered. Price point, what the vehicle is, you know, gas mileage, you know, and there's different configurations. You can get all-wheel drive, FX4 packages, EcoBoost with 250 horse, the hybrid being 191 with the electric and the gas engine combined. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things where it's a very versatile vehicle. You can configure it. They even have a Tremor model of these, and you can put 4K tow on them too, so you can tow 4,000 pounds, a camper or boat or whatever. And you know, I've seen people haul 3 dirt bikes in the back of these things. And then as time goes on, I'm seeing more and more of these trucks on the road, and it seems like all of them look different. It's crazy. Like, people are customizing these things to the way they want, and it's cool. It's like, oh, you know, that looks different than mine. You know, like, you see them on the road and you're like, yeah, you know, that's awesome that everybody's having an individuality with these trucks, where one doesn't look the same as the other. You know, it's just cool. you know, towing and everything. You know, it's just a nice vehicle to just drive around. It fits in many spots. You know, it pretty much fits anywhere. You go to a big city, it's gonna fit in a parking spot. You go to like a parking garage, it's gonna fit in there. You know, it's not like it's a big F-250 where, oh, I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to park. You just go around, park wherever you want. You know, I don't know if you could park in a compact spot, but I don't see why not. You know, try it out. I'm sure you'd fit. But you got enough room for passengers. They're not going to be the most comfortable, but you know, I mean, you could fit a car seat in here. You know, a booster seat or car seat. Just, it'll work out. I mean, I just keep my jacket back here with a couple, like a box and whatever, so it's I can try to keep it somewhat clean in here, but it's not like, you know, you're not gonna haul, I mean, you could haul adults around with it, but you wouldn't want to go more than probably an hour or so with it. I mean, I could put the seat where I am, like where I put my seat, I can fit behind myself, so it's not like crazy tight. I mean, it is tight, but it's not like I can't fit back there like a sports car, or like, you know, some of these small SUVs are pretty cramped, and it's got enough room. It's been good. I mean, I've had a couple passengers and they really like it inside. I mean, it's very similar to my uncle's Escape, and we took that down to Oklahoma, and he's like, yeah, this is pretty nice. I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. So at nighttime, I've heard of people complaining about these headlights on here, which I think they're crazy to say that. The headlights are actually pretty good in this vehicle. Maybe it's people that just haven't driven older vehicles with halogen headlights or sealed beam headlights. These are pretty bright. I will say they're not like the brightest thing on the road, but they're definitely brighter than my '88 Pontiac Firebird with, you know, what are they? Sylvania Performance sealed halogen beams, you know, or Sylvania Performance sealed beams, you know, they're brighter than that. I don't know what people are thinking, but the headlights are actually pretty decent in these things. I mean, they're pretty bright, and the brights, you know, they flick on this inner one, and you have all three going. I thought they're pretty good. I don't know what people are complaining about, but so yeah, I enjoy it. The lights are good for me. I don't know what people are, they're kind of crazy, whatever. So from what I've heard, a number of people also complaining about, which I do not complain about at all, because again, I own a '88 Pontiac Firebird with aftermarket stereo system from the 90s, and it's not very good. But it is the radio, like the speakers, the speaker quality, and they're like, no, it's really not that good. And I'm like sitting here thinking like, man, this is, maybe it's just me, and you know, I don't listen to a lot of like bass oriented, you know, music. It's just you know, I do listen to some bassy songs, you know. It's just fine. I don't understand, like they're like, oh, the sound doesn't sound, it's like, I don't know, like I do notice like it feels like the stereo system, and this is a con, but I have noticed like the stereo system will like, and I don't know if it's just the radio station that I'm listening to, because I don't have, you know, there's no Sirius satellite, but when I listen to a radio station, it kind of like, I get to a certain point and it like dulls down a little bit and then comes back. But I think that's just the radio station I'm listening to. It does that. But every time I pair my phone with it and I listen to a song, it sounds great. I don't know, but I'm used to, you know, old 90s aftermarket stereo that sounds like crap and has no bass to it. And then my Chevy pickup, I mean, it's far ahead of my Chevy pickup for sound quality. So I think the radio's just fine. Like the system, like the sound is just fine. Another note, the radio, I actually like this one. It works well. A lot of people, and I don't know if it's just the 22s that people were having trouble with, but in this radio, it's only froze up once before, and it was because on my phone I have an app that links my desk phone to my cell phone, so I can get calls, because I'm never at my desk sometimes, so I can get calls from a desk phone to my cell phone. And if my phone is paired to the radio and someone's calling my desk phone and it rings onto my cell phone and my cell phone's paired to this, it tends to like go into this weird like call mode where it senses it's in a call, but I haven't picked it up yet, and it froze the radio up once. So I just ended up, when I stopped and made the stop, I did shut the vehicle off, turned it back on, it came back on. So I don't think it's so much the radio's fault. It's pretty much my desk phone trying to ring my cell phone, which is sensing, the radio sensing that is trying to pick it up, and it's not picking up. So it only froze up on me once, and it wasn't a big deal. It's not really the car's fault. So otherwise it's worked pretty flawlessly. I mean it works pretty flawlessly. I mean, you go phone and it's quick. Everybody's like, oh, it's laggy. It's like, I don't know. I mean, and I plug my phone in. I have a cord down here, and it actually goes into Android Auto. So, and I can get Google Maps on here and everything, which is super helpful when I'm going on a trip and I don't know where I'm going. So, also the settings for the heater and AC are very, they're very easy to use. Turn dial, a couple buttons for your defrost, and then upper, lower, AC, all that. I will say this car does take a little bit to heat up. Being a hybrid, it'll go in electric mode. It'll go into electric mode, and then the engine's not heating up, so it does take a little bit for this vehicle to warm up enough to give you heat. That is a con. I will say, like, you can even remote start it and it's still not quite warmed up when you get in it after like 10 minutes, but it's fine. You wear a jacket and you just set the heat to what you want, and I usually have it on high when it's cold, but I usually set it to about 72, and that keeps me just fine. But yeah, other than that, the interior is pretty good. A lot of plastic here, but it's a cheaper vehicle, so the plastic, it is what it is. I mean, it's hard plastic everywhere, but there's cubby holes, up here, in here, down here. You can place your phone and whatever else. I don't have the wireless charging because it's not a Lariat, and of course, the buttons here and all that. So it works out great, and you got your glove box and everything. So it's a nice place to be. Like, you got your glasses holder, sunglasses holder, your lights, LED lights, so they're pretty bright at night. I don't have auto mirror, auto light sensing mirror. It's flip, just fine. I can go like this down the road and it's fine. So yeah, the interior is a nice place to be. And I will say, when I'm going to like this grocery store and everything too, I always catch people looking at this. They look at this thing, like I come out of like a hardware store, and this lady and her husband were walking by, and this is before I had the tonneau cover on. They're like, the lady's all looking in there and stuff, and I'm walking up and I'm like, I said, hey, how's it going? And she's like, what is this thing? I was like, oh, it's the new Ford Maverick. And she's like, I've never seen one. This is a cute little truck. And I'm like, it works out great, like, it is a small little truck. And she's like, well, I was just looking at the bed and just seeing, like, I could use something like this. And I was like, yeah, and I told her, like, the price point of the starting points, 24. And she was like, oh, we might have to go look at one. Her husband's like looking at me, and I'm like, they're nice. And she's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to go look at one. So it's kind of funny. Overall, I mean, would I buy this vehicle again? Yeah, definitely. I mean, his price point was great. I'd wait. Would I wait another year for it? Yeah, I think I would. I mean, if I was like wanting to order another one and go up to a 24 model, I'd wait another year. I mean, it's not not a big deal. So it's one of those things where, you know, is it worth the hype? I think so. I mean, everything's working well after 3 months. Had no problems, never been in the shop, no issues. So so far so good. Knock on wood, everything's going well. I always try to recommend these to people. There's people that stop in all the time at the dealership here, and they want to see the Maverick, which they instantly ask me to, you know, show people it, which is fine. I give the salesman the key. Yeah, go show them, and shoot, even take them for a ride. It don't matter. They can drive it. You know, I think people, some people are getting to the point where, like, do they really need a big half-ton truck or 3/4 ton truck for everyday use? No, not really. I don't. And if I do need a 3/4 ton truck, I have one sitting at the house, so it's not a big deal. Most people don't have that, but you know, you can always rent a U-Haul to haul something, you know, that a 3/4 ton truck needs to. So it only costs you like $19.95, so it's not a big deal if you need one. But this is a good overall truck. I mean, and some people will say truck, you know, it's a unibody truck is what it is. It's like a, I can't even say it's like an El Camino because those were body on frame, but it, you know, it serves its purpose. It's a mini truck. And you know, trucks of like the old Toyota Tacomas, the T100s and all that, or whatever, I'd say it's on par with that. You know, it's does what it can, does what it doesn't, and doesn't do what it doesn't, and drives great. It gets good gas mileage. I will say there was one thing with the dash. I was in Duluth and I did hit a really big bump, and ever since then I developed a little rattle on hard bumps on that, like, driver side or that passenger side A-pillar there. I'm gonna check out and see what that is eventually, but since we're at pretty much 2,500 miles, we're gonna change the oil at 3,000 miles, and I'll actually do a video on that, showing you how to change oil on your hybrid Ford Maverick. I don't know if anybody's done it yet on YouTube, but we're gonna do it, and I'll show you how that's done. But overall, for 2,500 miles, I know it's not a lot of miles. I see some people with 30, 40, 50, 60, even like 80 to 100,000 miles already, which is crazy. They just must, every waking moment they must be driving. But you know, I work pretty close to my house, and I'm working 9.5 hours a day, and by the time I'm off work, it's dark in the winter, so I don't really go anywhere. But we will keep you updated as we go along. You know, we'll do another update maybe at 5,000 miles, maybe at 10, whatever it may be, but we'll keep you updated. But everything's been holding up. I mean, no, I don't think I might have an open recall on this. I gotta look. I heard there was like a tail lamp bulb recall on these that recently came out, but I gotta see if mine applies to that. There have been a couple recalls on these vehicles since 22, but it seems like they've all been fixable. Nothing like waiting on parts or anything, I don't think. I haven't heard, I haven't read, but yeah, overall 2,500 miles, almost 3.5 months later. It's been good. I definitely recommend this vehicle. If you have one on order, wait for it. It's worth it. And if you're thinking about ordering one, definitely get on that, because who knows if they'll ever, I'm sure they'll jack up prices again. I know they did from 22 to 23 and then 23 to 24, and they're probably just going to get more and more expensive as people continue to order them and then buy them. So, but definitely like to thank you guys for watching. Definitely check out all the other videos on this vehicle, and definitely subscribe to that channel if you could for me. That would help the channel out greatly, and we can make more videos and do more things and all that. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave it down below, and you guys have a good day or night or whatever you're having. Thanks guys, bye.